Comic book superpowers aren't real, but some of them are. They're just hiding inside animals you've never thought twice about. Super strength, immortality, regeneration, built-in weapons, every one of them exists in nature, right now, in creatures alive today. These are 8 animals with genuine, documented superpowers, and a few of them break the laws of what you thought was possible. The strongest punch in the animal kingdom belongs to a creature the size of your finger, and it hits like a bullet. The mantis shrimp is a small, colorful sea creature with 2 spring-loaded clubs folded under its head, like a coiled weapon. When it strikes, those clubs accelerate as fast as a bullet from a gun. It's one of the fastest movements in the entire animal kingdom. The punch is so violent, it does something bizarre. The water around the club briefly boils, creating tiny collapsing bubbles. Those bubbles implode with a flash of light and a shockwave. So even if the mantis shrimp misses, the shockwave alone can stun its prey. It hits with the force of a rifle bullet, over and over, without ever damaging its own club. The impact can shatter crab shells and aquarium glass. Its eyes are just as absurd. It sees a spectrum of color and light far beyond anything a human eye could ever detect. A punch that boils water and flashes light, thrown by something smaller than a pencil. Nature's perfect, tiny, heavyweight champion. The next animal can survive being frozen, boiled, irradiated, and thrown into the vacuum of open space, and it still won't die. The tardigrade, also called a water bear, is a microscopic creature with 8 stubby legs and a strange, lumbering walk. It looks harmless, but it's very possibly the most indestructible animal that has ever existed anywhere on Earth. It can survive temperatures near absolute zero and heat well above boiling. It shrugs off radiation doses that would kill a human instantly. Its trick is a state called cryptobiosis. It squeezes out almost all its water, curls into a tiny ball, and shuts its metabolism down. In that state, it can wait, dried out and dormant, for years or even decades. Then a single drop of water brings it fully back to life. Scientists have literally launched tardigrades into open space, exposed them to the raw vacuum, and many of them survived and reproduced. An animal you need a microscope to see, that survives the one place that instantly kills everything else. Life's ultimate survivor. The next animal has cracked the one problem no other creature ever has. It has found a way to never truly die. The immortal jellyfish is a tiny species, smaller than your fingernail, drifting quietly through oceans all around the world. Most animals grow up, grow old, and die. This one refuses. When it's injured, starving, or simply too old, it does something impossible. It transforms its old, dying body back into a baby. Its cells reset completely, and it becomes a young polyp again, starting life over. It's the biological equivalent of a butterfly turning back into a caterpillar. And in theory, it can repeat this cycle forever. Left undisturbed, it could dodge old age again and again, effectively living without end. It's the closest thing to true immortality we know. In practice, predators and disease still get most of them. But death by aging simply isn't part of this creature's design. A jellyfish smaller than a pinhead has quietly solved the problem humans have chased for our entire history. How to never grow old. The next animal generates enough electricity to stun a horse, and it carries that power supply inside its own body. The electric eel isn't actually an eel. It's a type of knife fish over 2 meters long, living in the murky rivers of South America. Most of its body isn't for swimming. It's packed with thousands of specialized cells that work together like living, stacked batteries. When it fires, those cells discharge all at once, delivering a jolt of up to 860 volts into the surrounding water. That's enough to stun a horse, and far more than enough to knock out the fish and animals it hunts, or to drive off a predator. It even uses smaller pulses like radar, sensing the electric field around its body to navigate and hunt in water too muddy to see through. There are records of electric eels leaping from the water to press their bodies against a threat, delivering the shock directly through the air. A living power station, hunting with electricity in the dark. It turned its entire body into a weapon nothing else in the river can match. The next animal snaps one claw so fast it creates a bubble hotter than the surface of the sun. The pistol shrimp is tiny, just a few centimeters long, but it has one massively oversized claw that works like a loaded gun. It cocks the claw open, then snaps it shut so violently that it fires a jet of water at incredible speed through the sea. That jet moves so fast it rips a bubble open in the water. And when that bubble collapses, the physics gets genuinely insane. For a fraction of a second, the collapsing bubble reaches a temperature approaching that of the surface of the sun, thousands of degrees. It releases a snap of sound louder than a gunshot and a flash of light, all from a shrimp you could balance on a coin. The shockwave alone is enough to stun or kill small fish nearby. The shrimp simply strolls over and collects its knocked-out meal. Colonies of them are so loud they can interfere with submarine sonar. An army of shrimp, drowning out the most advanced military technology. The next animal can regrow its legs, its organs, and even parts of its own brain, as easily as you heal a scratch. The axolotl is a permanently young salamander with feathery pink gills and a face fixed in what looks like a constant smile. Lose a leg and most animals are crippled for life. The axolotl simply grows a new one back, perfect, in a matter of weeks. And it doesn't stop at limbs. It can regenerate its heart, its lungs, parts of its spine, and even sections of its brain. It can even accept transplanted body parts, including whole limbs and eyes, without rejecting them the way almost every other animal would. Scientists study it obsessively, hoping to unlock the secret of regrowing human tissue and one day repairing the damage we can't yet fix. Tragically, this super healer is critically endangered in the wild, now surviving in just a few shrinking lakes near Mexico City. An animal that treats losing a limb like a minor inconvenience. It holds a secret medicine might one day learn to give to us. The next animal defends itself by firing a boiling chemical explosion out of its own body, aimed directly at whatever attacks it. The Bombardier beetle looks like an ordinary beetle, but inside its abdomen it's carrying the ingredients for a controlled chemical bomb. It stores two reactive chemicals in separate chambers. When threatened, it mixes them together in a reinforced internal reaction chamber. The reaction is violent. It heats the mixture to the boiling point of water and builds up enormous pressure inside the beetle's body. Then it fires. A jet of scalding, toxic spray blasts out of its rear end, aimed with surprising accuracy straight at the attacker. It even fires in rapid pulses, hundreds of times a second, which stops the beetle from cooking itself with its own weapon. A frog that swallows one has been seen violently spitting it back out, the beetle still firing chemicals inside the frog's stomach. A living, walking bomb that survived hundreds of millions of years by turning chemistry itself into a perfectly aimed weapon. Our last animal is the fastest living thing on the planet, faster than any car, any train, or any other creature alive. The peregrine falcon looks like a fairly ordinary bird of prey when it's simply flying along, flapping over cities and cliffs. But when it spots prey below, it folds its wings, tucks its body into a bullet shape, and enters a dive called a stoop. In that dive, it reaches speeds of over 390 kilometers an hour, faster than a Formula One car at full throttle. Its body is built for it. Special baffles in its nostrils control the air so the brutal wind doesn't burst its lungs at that speed. It hits its prey mid-air with such force that the strike alone is often instantly fatal. A living missile striking out of the sky. Once nearly wiped out by pesticides, it has recovered, and now even nests on skyscrapers, hunting pigeons through the streets of our cities. The fastest animal that has ever lived, sharing our cities with us. Most people walk right underneath it and never look up. Super strength, immortality, regeneration, and living weapons. Every superpower you thought was fiction is real, hidden in plain sight. The next time a comic invents a power, remember, somewhere out there a real animal already has it and has for millions of years. So which superpower would you take? Tell me in the comments and subscribe, because nature has plenty more where these came from.